Hello. Let's see if we got there we go. I think we're good. Just wait for some people to show up. So we're good. Now I look like a midget all of a sudden. Miguel, Kristen, what's going on, everybody? Amy, Felix. Hey, Amy. How are you? Kristen. Hey, what's up? Miguel, what's going on, brother? Richard Marion. How's it going? Alright, so we got some people on here. Kendall Thomas, what's going on, brother? Alright. We're going to give everybody basically a quick rundown of the trip. There were a lot of highlights. And yes, I saw on there were a few lowlights, or a few things that I kind of expected and was kind of told would be a part of the trip that actually didn't pan out. Brian, what's going on? Y'all better beat the Raptors. If not, y'all are going to have hell to pay when I get back. All right, well, obviously the talk on there was lowlights. Basically, it's what everybody was thinking as far as lowlights. Did they run out of beer? God, no, they did not run out of beer. That was far from it. There's probably enough beer to sink a destroyer carrier group up in this joint. Frank, what's going on, brother? Oh, great. Thanks, Brian. You made it all better knowing that we lost yesterday. Thanks. To everybody out there, my U12 team, Die Mannschaft, probably lost 30-something to nothing yesterday because, well, I don't know why. But, hey, I'll say that before we go into the lowlights. Guys, y'all did wonderful. The U12 team, I'll be back next year. All right, as far as the lowlights. When we got here Thursday, it was pretty relaxed. Everybody arrived, got to the hotel, stuff like that. What I would have kind of preferred was more of an orientation, even as a regular orientation or something, so all the Bayern Award nominees could kind of get to know each other and kind of break that ice, know who our tour guides were, get to know those people, and just kind of like a welcome to Munich type thing. I mean, that may be nitpicky on my side, but I mean, it was just weird on Friday to just wake up and instantly have to know everybody. Some people we knew, some people we didn't. So sorry if it's loud outside. Guess we got some dude on a motorcycle thinking he's Evel Knievel all of a sudden. But no orientation. I mean, it would have been great to get to know the guys right off the bat, kind of get some, rapport through everybody, and it would have kind of made it an easier way. Hey, Jana, we'll get to you in a minute. Yeah, so no orientation. That's kind of a low light for me. Big thing for me is zero English translation. When we were running around just Munich the past couple of days, I will give it to the German people. They tried their best to communicate as much as possible in English, and that's saying a lot for some of the older people that we had met. They tried their best to speak English to us, but I mean, while we're on a tour and we're at the Bayern training grounds and stuff like that, there was zero translation. So, I mean, everybody was laughing and having a great old time. I had no idea what they were saying. Yes, Mark, I really should have brought you as a translator. But, that was a big thing for me because a lot of people were enjoying and having fun, and I had no idea what they were saying, to be honest. I know that was something I should have kind of expected, but I kind of expected Bayern Tours or the Bayern Fan Awards, Deutsche Telekom, somebody to at least know we've got a guy from America that speaks zero English, especially after I told him I speak zero English, or not zero English, zero German. You think they may have had that there. The other thing, explanation of plans versus what was told was going to happen to us versus what actually happened. We had some issues with some of the people running in when they went to Allianz Arena, when we went to the Olympic Stadium. Bags, things that you could bring in your pockets, things you couldn't bring in your pockets. That really wasn't explained to us really at all. So, I mean, I knew there were some people... Kendall, it wasn't zero English, bro. They spoke some English. It was broken. I mean, it was pretty good. So, I mean, I can't hold that against everybody. It was just some of the things were kind of, all right, please don't send me any messages until after everything's done. But back to no explanation of plans. It was kind of fly by the seat as far as some of the more specific things. We did find out there's like a tax-free thing where if you buy clothing or buy stuff here, you ask for a tax-free thing, you actually get about, I'd say 60-70% of the taxes that you actually paid, you get it back. And I personally know, like, Laura and a lot of other people that were international bought a lot of stuff at the Bayern store on Saturday, and if they didn't know about that tax-free, they really, I mean, if you spent $300-400, you get $50 back. I mean, that or €50 back. That's a lot of money. So, I mean, explanations would have been good. Kind of explaining what was going to happen a little bit better. But, I mean, and people are still bringing up the Richard, yeah, I mean, I understand they're not going to speak crystal clear English, guys. I understand that. But what I'm saying is a translator that can translate some of the German to English would have been at least something. I mean, you're bringing over an international person that speaks zero German. I mean, you could explain, even in broken English, something. And that's translator-wise. Jennifer, let's see, stations. Yeah, Jennifer, yeah, that's what I'm talking about is you say the VAT tax, but it's basically the tax-free thing. Because between me and Kim, we get a pretty penny back from what we spent. And that wasn't explained at all until we actually went to the Dirndl store and to the Lederhosen and some of those places. That would have been really good for some of the international people to have known. Because I know some people that spend a lot of money in that Bayern store. And I mean, one of the things is back to, I mean, no really cohesion throughout the group. You could really see a distinct split between some of the national domestic people and some of the international people. I mean, there was you could kind of see that, and I don't know if it was because of there was no orientation where we kind of got acclimated to each other, kind of introduced each other, that type of stuff. But I mean, granted, once the beer started flowing, everybody was friends. But it was just one of those things that we'd have loved to hang out with some people. Another thing of the no explanation of plans, I'd love to have went to the champion ceremony at the Marienplatz. It didn't happen. I know a lot of y'all had asked me and sent me messages and texts and some phone calls asking me how was the champion ceremony at the Marienplatz. No idea. To be 100% honest with you, I saw it on Twitter. We went to the Allianz Arena, and basically the game got over. We sat around at the Allianz Arena just I mean, through the eyes of me, through the eye of me, and through Kim, we just were wasting time. And then all of a sudden, I started getting Twitter feeds coming across, like right around in here, players coming out and coaches coming out and celebrations and stuff like that at the Mighty and Plots that we were told the night before would be streamed in the hotel because there'd be too many people there. We didn't get to see that, and it hurts really bad. A lot of y'all know how deep Bayern fan I am, and I would have died to see that. But I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. And I mean, it's something that, I mean, it's one of those regrets that I wish I would have seen. It was just the logistics behind it just didn't work out. One of the big things, and I'm about to get into something that kind of hits hard with me. Without trying to make everybody mad, everybody knows I smoke. This is one of the funnier low points. Cigarettes in Germany are a nightmare to find. Nightmare. Because the only way you can buy them is either out of a shop that you know of, or you buy them out of a machine. And I don't have a European Union ID, so I can't get cigarettes. So that was a nightmare. Yeah, it's a big low point for me on that one. Another low point. What's with Munich and Red Bull? I thought Red Bull was a bad thing. That's all you could get energy drink wise around here. I can't deal with Red Bull. Come on, man. Yeah, Richard Marion, yeah. Something must change. No Red Bull in Munich. Come on. It's an act of God to get a freaking Monster around here. Or until you find a pharmacy that I just figured that out today. But I don't drink that Red Bull garbage. Why is that even here? I'm just kidding. But yeah, for me being a Monster fan, make sure if you come to Munich, I'll tell you where you can buy Monster at. There's about 3 places. But I mean that really something. Yes, Richard, something does have to change with the Monster front. Yes, I know Mark drank beer instead, but I need something to get me going in the morning besides beer. All right, back to the serious note. Back to the serious note is, yes, Brandon, I probably drank 10 pounds or 10 liters of miso mix. That stuff is awesome. Y'all got me hooked, and now I'll go back to the U.S. tomorrow, and I'm not even going to know what to do with it. Shut up, Kendall, Leipzig sucks. Shh. But, alright. Sabener Strasse. Bayern's training. I had high hopes for Bayern's training. Really high hopes. We showed up, ride the Bayern bus. Was high on that. Loved it. Get off and we're told we get to see 15 minutes of training. I understand Bayern has rules. I understand Bayern didn't have a public practice that day. I understand that. I get that. I'm going to try not to get a little emotional here because this part hit hard. I understand private practice. I understand that it wasn't public. They didn't have it open for everybody else. I understand that. I really, truly do. And I respect the way that Bayern told us that. I get it. 15 minutes of practice, that's cool. But when I show up and I've got Axel and I've got and Axel's a close friend, his daughter Jana, who drew the amazing picture of me. and I see Michael Zeman, the Bayern Bushman, and I see them all out there. And one of the big reasons I came here was to spend time with people in Germany that know me, and people that have followed my story, and people that have said that I've inspired them and that I've motivated them and all that kind of stuff. To see them and have to rush through meeting with them, that was hard for me, really hard. Jana, I understand you drew an amazing picture, and please don't think that it didn't matter to me. It meant the world to me. Bayern Bushman, Michael Zeman, seeing you there meant the world to me. It really did. When we got into practice, we got the whole thing of, you know what I'm saying, the background of the facility and all that kind of stuff, which is great. For a fan like me, I know 99.9% of that stuff. And I understand a lot of those fans might not, but for y'all know how deep I follow Bayern. I knew all that stuff. So we went over there, we met a couple coaches, and as we're walking across to kind of sit there and I guess have a little pep talk or something like that, Manuel Neuer is standing not 15 feet from me. That's awesome. But to be told you can't even really take a step his direction, that's like, for me, that's like ripping a part of me apart. It really is. Because, yes, it's the last training of the season. You're not going to learn anything. This is a world-class team. It's world-class players. Some of the elite players on the planet are at Bayern Munich. Elite level players. Even the bench players are elite level players. I'm looking at the starting goalkeeper for Bayern Munich, not 15 feet away from me. I'm looking at the greatest goalkeeper on the planet, not 15 feet away from me. I'm also looking at a group of, outside of just me, there's a group of 39 individuals that you specifically brought to Munich as a fan award. They're supposed to be your highest fans. Some of these people, like the Padelbahn guys from Germany, Jacqueline, her father, Laura, her mother. You've got me and Kim. You've got Garrett Fiedler from Mexico and his guest. Some of us have done tremendous things for the name and the team of Bayern in our areas, and had used Bayern's name and have lifted the club and done massive and amazing things for our communities and foundations and charities and all kinds of things. To see the world's greatest goalkeeper on crutches 15 feet from me. To see the greatest goalkeeper on the... Now, let me make sure this is clear. The world's greatest goalkeeper at the moment is 15 feet away from me. And I'm not allowed to even say his name because the orderly dove between me like he's the Secret Service to the president. Now, how is that supposed to make me feel flying 6,000 kilometers to Munich and getting that close to somebody I've looked at, wanted to meet for God knows how long? How am I supposed to take that? that I'm not even allowed to acknowledge the man's alive before a secret practice? What secret stuff is Bayern going to learn 24 hours before they play Freiburg? Seriously. What are they going to... What is Manuel Neuer on crutches going to do 24 hours before he doesn't even suit up for Freiburg? What is he going to do? Manuel Neuer, obviously something must have happened, because now I read in the news over here that he goes to some secret wedding to marry his wife, or I guess his new wife, which, congratulations, I'm proud of you. But you fly off to Austria to secretly wed your wife. You couldn't sit there in a chair for maybe 15 minutes and take pictures, sign autographs. I mean, I'm not sitting there asking you to stand there for hours and hours and hours on a foot that doesn't matter. But it's wrapped in a walking boot. You can sit there for a couple minutes, take some pictures. When we're done, they can rush us along to go finish the tour. I understand that. And this is nothing against Manuel Neuer. It's just one of the many things that happen at the training facility that really irks me. Because as what's different with and Felix, I'm not disrespecting Freiburg, dude. Just I understand you're joking, but the difference between a lot of the people in that group and me, and a lot of y'all know me, the difference between that group and me is not a single one of those. Like tomorrow, I can fly back, see my doctor, and find out I'll die on Monday. And that's the truth. I mean, the possibilities of that happening is really high. With my cancer, that's a possibility. With a lot of those other people, they can come back to Munich. A lot of them have been to Munich many times. Honestly, 100%, this is my only opportunity to get here. With all the medical bills and all the stuff, this was my chance to meet the people that I see on TV. And y'all know a lot of me. Some of y'all even say, and Kendall, I don't want to point you out, but Kendall, I'm going to tell you, you've told me sometimes, Richard's told me sometimes. I've worshipped these guys. I know I shouldn't, but it's happened. But to see the world's greatest goalkeeper 15 feet away and watch 4 people, and I've got a picture footage of 4 people holding jerseys, gloves, and stuff like that, getting them autographed. But yet, we can't walk over there and talk to him. That ripped my heart out. To go hear some coaches and stuff like that. Now, Herman Garland is an amazing coach. Amazing. And it was an honor to meet him. But to walk back, and when we walked back, that was the next, outside of the Manuel Neuer part, the next part that was so hard for me. And I'll speak for Kim, even though she probably doesn't want me to, but I will. 2 of Kim's favorite players is Manuel Neuer and Mats Hummels. When I walked across that player entrance area, Joshua Kimmich and Mats Hummels walked right in front of Kim. We were refused, couldn't even say anything to them. It was heartbreaking for me personally to be able to see Kim, who loves Matt Hummels to death, couldn't say a word to Mats Hummels. Couldn't say a word to him. I mean, a lot of y'all are Bayern fans on this list. But to see Mats Hummels, Joshua Kimmich, Renato Sanchez, Thomas Muller, Lewandowski, they were 5 feet away from Kim. 5 feet from Kim, and she couldn't take a picture with him because they banned us from taking pictures and videos. Banned us from taking pictures and videos. And I promised myself I wouldn't cuss, but right now I'm getting emotional. What shit are you doing special before a Freiburg match that you've already won the Bundesliga? What secret shit are you planning there, big guy? What secret shit? Because we stood there after all the players walked out onto the field. And we stood there and I looked out there and watched for 20 minutes as they circled around and joked around with each other. And looked over at us because one of the groups had an Alaboom thing. Which I would have loved for David Alaba to walk over there and talk to them. I would have loved to. Because that's somebody that they would have loved to have met. But to watch David Alaba look over and wave. How do I know David Alaba didn't want to walk over there? How do I know that Bayern wouldn't let him walk over there? Is it the entire organization that wouldn't have? No, I'm not going to blame the entire organization. But somebody would not allow him to walk over and visit with the 40 people. And this is 3 categories of domestic, 3 categories of international, of your biggest fans. Some fans like me, Gerard Fiedler, the group from Greece, the group from Padelborn, that have done extreme things for charities, foundations, our community. You've got Laura, Serene, Jacqueline, some of these that are up for family, Josh. We've got these people that have done amazing things, that have held Bayern to a crazy standard. To be able to see people from 5, 10, 15 feet away and we're not even allowed to acknowledge them. Can't take pictures of them just walking onto the field because you're doing secret shit. Like standing in a circle and looking at us. Now, the personal part that I take really extremely personal is Frank Ribery. Frank walked out after everybody else, like towards the end of the group, when we had already been told to put our cameras away. Now, everybody has seen either my Instagram post, my Facebook post, my tweets about how me or how I see Frank Ribery. And if you saw Terrence Bates' thing in Charlotte or saw the interviews and stuff, Frank Ribery means like really deep things for me. Because the way that he has his scar and the way my eye is, our stories aren't exactly transparent or exactly the same, but they are pretty damn close. And to see him from that far away and not be able to take a picture, that's jacked. Seriously. Now my thing is I would have been fine with that if it was a secret practice. But when I walk my little scrawny rear end out into that parking lot and I see that Bayern puts it on Facebook Live, that ain't secret, buddy. It's Facebook Live. So you're trying to tell me that you wanted the rights of Facebook Live over the rights of the fans that will put you through the roof on social media? I'd say between 5 of us that were there presently, we could have made social media impressions close to 250,000 by meeting players. By being able to do that type of stuff. 5 of us would have made 250,000 impressions. I looked at some of the Facebook Live. When I tuned into it, there were 500 and some odd people watching that thing. 500. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say 5,000 total watched that practice. Because it was Philip Lahm and Xabi Alonso's last practice. Do you realize how special that could have been for us? Jam, I understand I'm coming off really ungrateful. But Jam, you're not over here, bro. You're not going to come back home and find out that you potentially could die in 2 days after that. If you think I'm ungrateful, that's fine. I don't really care. But the thing is we were brought here thinking one thing and we find out it's something else. If you don't like it, you can very well get off. I don't care if you think I'm ungrateful at this point. Because these are just the downsides. Jam, dude. I understand anybody can die at any day. I'm not getting into an argument with you. I'm telling you my side. If you don't like it, I don't really care. I really don't. But the thing is when you've got a hurt player or a player that's not going to play, that's 15 feet away from you, that can take 15 minutes out of his time to take pictures with 20, 30, 35 people that's sitting there, that takes 15 minutes. That's it. It's not asking too much from people, some of us that are flying 5, 6, 7,000 kilometers, that may never be able to do this. You can fly to Germany whenever you feel like it. I can't. I can't afford it, dude. Period. Simple as that. When people that are standing outside have more access to the players than people that are inside here for a specific awards thing, that's cool. That's great for them outside, but not for us. We were sent here thinking one thing, and it wasn't, is what I'm trying to tell you. You haven't even sat there and listened long enough. You've been here for 5 minutes, dude. I haven't even got to the positive side. So don't give me that garbage, man. You're not here. You didn't go through what we did. I don't want to hear it. There were